So welcome back, children. We are going to begin today with chapter 4, operators in Java. Hope all till 3 chapters, all of you have gone through all the videos, have taken notes, and you are ready to take up a test anytime. Okay. So now I shall move about with the 4th chapter, operators in Java. Operators we have already learned as one of the tokens comprising of different operators, arithmetic, relational and logical operators. When I went through that portion, I told you we will be going in detail with the 4th chapter. Okay. So now we shall move over to the slides and I shall explain you today operators, mainly unary operator. Okay. So chapter 4, operators in Java. So we'll have an introduction about what is an operator and an operand. What is an operator? An operator is basically a symbol or token which performs arithmetical or logical operations and gives meaningful result. So we have learned in maths different operators, is it not? 1 plus 2 is equivalent to 3. So their plus is an operator. So it does something and gives you a meaningful result. So 1 plus 2 is equivalent to 3 means 3 is a result given out of your operation. The values which are involved in the operations are termed as operands. So when I say 1 plus 2 is equivalent to 3, 1 and 2 are considered to be the operands. Let us have a look of the example. P is equivalent to A plus B. So there will be some value in A and B. And when you add A and B, you get a result and that is stored in P. So here the operation done is addition. The operator is plus. And what is working on this operator is A and B, which is stored in P. So your operands here will be P, A and B. So you have 3 operands here, P, A and P. So that's the introduction about what is an operator and what are operands. Next we'll see what are the types of operators. We have arithmetical operator, relational operator, and logical operator. So just a few lines about these operators we had learned when we learned the operator as a token. So now here we will be going in detail. So first we will go with what is an arithmetical operator. Operators which perform arithmetical calculations. You have heard this in maths, which you are doing here in a program. You call it as an arithmetical operators. Some basic calculations. What are the basic calculations? Your addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. So these are the main 4 basic operations which you have done in your maths. In Java programming or basically in a programming language, you also have one more operator which is called as the modulus operator. Okay, we will be going in detail into all this. We will use arithmetic operators alike plus for addition, minus for subtraction, asterisk not into, we call it as asterisk for multiplication, a slash for division, and you have a percentage symbol which is used for modulus. What does modulus do? Modulus gives you the remainder. So we will be using these operators under arithmetical operators. They can be categorized to perform some mathematical task. So whenever you want your program to do some mathematical functions, we make use of these arithmetical operators. So depending upon your mathematical task, it is further classified as a unary operator, binary operator, ternary operator. Okay. What we see, what is a unary operator? So unary operator means operates on single operand. Earlier I explained what is an operand. So unary operator means this operator will have only one operand. Clear? And the different operators will be plus, minus, plus plus, minus, minus. This unary operator, they are of two types. One you call it as unary plus, the other one you call it as unary minus. Now, used before this operator, now if you could see, used before the operand as a pointer to the variable results in the same value of the variable. For example, you will go with the example, A is 10, right? If I write plus A, so you can see this operator plus and you can see only one operand A. So this operator is working on a single operand. So I call it as unary operator. And here you have two types. One is unary plus and unary minus. Unary plus A. If I give plus A, what happens? The result will be 10 itself. But if I use a unary minus operator, for example, A is minus 10. For example, if I give plus A will result in minus 10 because I have given the value minus. Clear? Here I gave positive value to 10, so it remained the same. But the value has got a negative value. When I use a unary plus operator, the value remains as minus 10 itself. So whenever you are using a unary plus, there is no change in the value. We go with, so this is explained here in detail. Now we go with unary minus. Unary minus reverses the sign of an operand. Here you could see the operand value was 10. When I used unary plus, it remained 10. When the operand value was minus 10, when I used plus A, unary plus, it remained minus 10 itself. But in unary minus, it is not the case. It will reverse the sign of an operand. If you could see, A is 10. If I use minus A, it will result in minus 10. So it has from positive 10, it has become negative 10. If I use negative 10, what will happen when I give minus of A? It will result in positive 10. Okay. So this is unary plus, unary minus. Next you are going to learn more about unary plus plus and unary minus minus. So what is unary plus plus operator called? It is called unary increment operator. Okay. So what do you mean by increment? It means something which increases. So when I give plus plus, it will increase the value of an operand by 1. What happens if it is a decrement operator? Unary decrement operator minus minus as it signs decrease the value of an operand by 1. So we saw unary plus, unary minus. Now we are seeing unary plus plus and unary minus minus. Now let us look into the example. X is equivalent to x plus 1, right? So this x value is being incremented by 1. This you can also write as x plus plus or plus plus x. Here you could see this operator plus plus is working on only one operand x. That is why it is called unary increment operator. Now let us look about the unary decrement operator. X is equivalent to x minus 1. You are reducing it by 1. So that I can write it as x minus minus, or I can write it as minus minus x. Here again the operator is working on a single operand x. So hope you are getting it. Unary plus, unary minus, unary plus plus, unary minus minus. Clear? So plus plus indicates increment operator and minus minus indicates decrement operator. Now this increment of, in the previous slide you could have seen, I have written here x plus plus. I have also written plus plus x. Here I have written x minus minus. I have also written minus minus x. Now this is only one operand. So whether I give x plus plus or plus plus x, it gets incremented by 1. Similarly, if I give x minus minus or minus minus x, it decreases by 1. But the same thing, it is used in an expression. We have learnt an expression. Okay, when I am using it in an expression, the working completely changes. Clear? How does it work? You are going to see. Now, when in that case, this x plus plus, I can call it as postfix. And plus plus x, I call it as prefix. You have learnt in English prefix and suffix. You remember? Prefix, re-enter means re is prefix. Surrendered, ed is suffix. So similarly, in Java language, we have prefix and postfix. Prefix means when you are putting the operator in front of the operand. Postfix means when you are putting the operator at the back of the operand. Okay? So let us go and learn in detail about prefix and postfix. Now prefix. When an increment or decrement operator, it could be plus plus or minus minus, is used before the operand, it is a prefix operator. So if I use x plus plus, then it becomes a postfix. If I use plus plus x or minus minus x, it is an increment, prefix increment or prefix decrement operator. How does it work? I have told you, when it is used as a unary, fine, but when it is used in an expression, there is a principle behind its working. Change before action. So who changes? What is the action? We are going to see. So you must keep in mind, whenever you say prefix, the value gets changed before an action. Now forget all others, we will just go with the example. Okay? You have P is equivalent to 5. I am giving the same examples because when you look into your textbook and if I am explaining with the same example, it is easy for you to follow. Clear? So if you go through this video and your textbook, it becomes quite easy. It's not that I can also give some other examples, but in your example, it is more and more explained. Clear? So that's why I am giving the same example as given in your textbook. Here, P is equivalent to 5. So you are giving a value 5 to variable called P. You can see I have written an expression or a statement here. C is equivalent to plus P into 4. You want to find the value of C when P is 5. So this is a problem for you. Okay. Now after much of theory, it is nice working with some problems. I hope you will enjoy, right? Now what is this plus P? You can see here P is 5 and you can see plus P. Here the operator plus is placed before the operand. Correct? Plus P. And what are you going to do? You are going to multiply this value with 4. You are going to multiply this value with 4. So now what will happen? Plus P into 4. Now what is the value of P? Now this value of P, if it was not in a statement, what will happen? It's an increment operator. So P value becomes 5. From 5 it becomes 6. So when I say plus P, since this is a prefix operator, the value of P changes before action. What is the action? For it to multiply with 4. So what happens to my P? My P, because it is plus P and since it is prefix, it becomes 6. And then it does the action. What is the action? It multiplies by 4. So 6 into 4 is 24 and that is stored in C. Hope you are getting it. You have changed the value before action if your operator is prefix. This is the same case for decrement operator also. Now let us look into another example. With the value P as 5, C is equivalent to minus P into 4. What is this minus P? This is a decrement operator. Since it is placed before the variable, I call it as a prefix decremented operator. How will it work? It changes before action. What was the value of P? The value of P was 5. Since it is decrement, what happens? P value becomes 4. And then the action is performed. What is the action? Into 4. So it becomes 4 into 4 is equivalent to 16. Clear? So this is how your prefix operator works. Change before action. I hope you are getting it. Now we will go into the next one, postfix operator. Here, when an increment or decrement operator is used after the operand, okay, it is postfix operator. Now look into here, the principle behind it is change after action. So you do the action first, then you will change the value. Now listen. P is equivalent to 5. Okay. Here I am using P plus plus. So this is the operator is used after the operand. So it is postfix. How will it work? It does the action, then it changes. So what will happen? Here P plus plus, it does the action. So 5, it remains 5 itself. It changes, it multiplies with 4 and you get 20 as the answer. Once you finish this action, what will happen to my P value? P value becomes 6. Further, if I am using my P will go with the value 6. Clear? So what did it do? It changed after action. So now P plus plus, it remains the same as 5. Then it multiplied by 420. You got C as 20. And after this what happens? My P value from 5, it increments to 6. Here also P minus into 4. So here also it does the same. It gives a value of P as 5. It does the action multiplication with 4. It becomes 20. 20 is stored in C. But my P after this action from 5 it decreases to 4. So here increment and decrement with the postfix is happening. So change is happening after action. Okay. There are many examples solved in your textbook. I have just taken 2 out of them and I am also explaining at the end of the session. Okay. So I think better you will be able to do it better. And of course, in your textbook, what are the examples given? Please try to do it yourself and find your answers are correct. Clear? Because this is a sure question in your section A. Next, we go with the new topic, counters. Clear? You know what is a counter. Counter means something that keeps track of the number of counts. Clear? Now, here in Java also, we make use of this concept called counter. This mainly comes when we start doing our programs, loopings and all that. Clear? Now, you just know what is a counter. Now, counters are numeric variables. Clear? That means your variables mainly they will be of int type, which are used for keeping a record of the number of times a process is repeated. So to keep track of how many times a process is repeated, we keep track with the help of a variable. That variable is numeric and that variable is called as a counter. Clear? Now, it is initialized with a value and increases as the process repeats. Now we go with the example. I have given a variable C as 1. Okay, so I say C is equivalent to C plus 1. What happens to my C? My C becomes 1 plus 1, 2. Next time again if I say C equivalent to C plus 1, what happens? My C is equivalent to what is in C? 2. 2 plus 1, 3. Next time what will happen to my C? It becomes 4, it becomes 5, that keeps on. So, you are creating a variable to keep track of how many times a process is repeated. This you call it as a counter variable. Clear? And in short, you can write C is equivalent to C plus 1. You can write it as C plus plus. If I say C is equivalent to 5, what happens next time to C? It becomes 6. Then the next time it becomes 7. Then it becomes 8. So it can be initialized with any value. It can be initialized with any value depending upon our requirement. Clear? And in short, instead of writing C is equivalent to C plus 1, in short we write it as C plus plus. This is the term called counter variables. When we get into programming, I will be telling this is a counter variable. Then you must not think, oh, what is this? She is talking about some variable. That means it keeps track of how many times the process is repeated. Okay. Next is accumulators. Accumulators are numeric variables which keeps on changing or getting updated with the counter or some other values supplied. So like counters, accumulators are also numeric variables. Then how does the value keep on changing in an accumulator is with the help of another variable. For example, if I say S is equivalent to 0 and then when I say S is equivalent to S plus A, the value of S keeps on changing whenever A is added to it. Earlier case counter, what did you see? C is equivalent to C plus 1. It kept on adding itself. That was counter. But here accumulator, what it happens? In an accumulator, the value changes when some other variable is added onto it. Here you can see you can see here S is the accumulator. S I have initialized it to 0, but here S will keep changing whenever value in A is added to it. Some other variable or some other counter value keeps on adding to it, it gets changed. Clear? So that is the accumulator. It should be initialized. Even if counter is not initialized, not much of error, but in an accumulator if it is not initialized, what happens is you will be getting some junk value, or we call it as garbage value, okay, in your program, and your program output may not come correct. So what you have to do is whenever you are making use of an accumulator, whenever you have statements like this, you have to initialize your accumulator with a value. Normally we go with 0 if it is an integer. Clear? So these two portions, what is a counter, what is an accumulator, theory part you will be learning now, and how we make use of it, how we apply it in the programs, you will be getting to know when we start doing our program. So theory part, what it does, you must know it. Clear? Then next we are going to learn about something called shorthand expressions. So what is shorthand expression? An expression can be written in a short form. What is an expression? This is an expression. A is equivalent to A plus B. Now you can see the same variable is there on the left hand side of the assignment operator as well as on the right hand side of the assignment operator. Can you see here? Both A is equivalent to A plus B. A is there on the left hand side as well as on the right hand side. So this in short can be written as A plus is equivalent to B. For example, look here, C is equivalent to C minus D. You can see C is a variable which is on either side of your assignment operator on the left as well as on the right. So how will you write this? You will write that variable. What is the operator? That is minus is equivalent to D. Clear? So this shorthand expressions you can use in your Java program. Only thing is it can be written only if the same variable is used both after and before the assignment sign. If you have something like this A equal to B plus A, then it cannot be written. It can be written only if the same variable is on either side of your equal to or assignment operator. So they will give you some expressions and they may ask you to write the shorthand expressions. So you must know how to write it. Very simple. You will write the name of the variable which is present on either side of your equivalent to operator. Here you can see A is there. So you have written A. Which is the operator working here? Plus. So you wrote the very next as plus. Then equivalent to, what is the value left out? B. So you will write B. Very simple. Clear? This is also a section A question. Next we go with Java expression. Now what is Java expression? We have learned arithmetic expression, means expression which makes use of arithmetical operators. But this, when you write it into a program in Java, you must follow certain rules. That means you have to convert those arithmetical expressions into an expression which your compiler understands. That expression we call it as Java expressions. For example, if you write in maths, you write ABC, right? Actually, what is ABC? This is nothing but A into B into C. So this, you cannot write like this in your Java program. When you have to write it into your Java program, you have to write very clearly the operators A asterisk B asterisk C. Now if you look into this, this is 2 into L plus B. Am I right? Area. Here, if you write this in maths, you know. But when you write in Java, it gives you an error. It will ask you, it is not proper. So what you should write, you cannot just write the blank bracket here. You must say 2 asterisks L plus B. Similarly, PRT by 100. This is our mathematical expression, right? But when it comes to your Java expression, PRT is nothing but P into R into T. And this by symbol cannot be used in Java. What is it for division? For division, we are making use of slash. Okay, so slash 100. So it says PRT divided by 100. So there will be questions like this also. Some arithmetic expressions will be given to you and you will have to write them as Java expression. Very simple and easy, provided you know how to use it. Okay, so I think this much of portions is more enough for you for today's session. Next session we will be starting with the binary operator, ternary operator. So this chapter we may be splitting into 2 or 3 parts and then we will continue with the next session. Okay, please go through your textbooks. Once you finish off seeing this video, please go through your textbooks and also note down the important points or please underline what if you have your textbooks. Okay, so we'll meet in the next session. Till then, bye.